Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of start this real quick. This is back to nature. So first thing we're doing is setting up the exchange file. And I'll explain what that means in a minute, but first of all, here's our name. We have to set our birthday. We have to set our farm name and the dog name. And then we're gonna learn a little story about how we found the farm. And it's a bit different than Back to Nature. It's a bit different than Friends of Mineral Town, I mean. Deca, to answer your question, I've been awake for like 42 hours now, and I slept for like half an hour during Cruel's run. So, I think Demo said he would be answering a lot of questions during the run in the chat. So yeah, this is Back to Nature. This is actually the PSP version, Boy and Girl. And that's because it has faster loading times than Back to Nature, as well as a faster animal exchange, which I'll explain all this in like a minute, but first of all, the story here is our parents promised us a vacation, then they had to cancel us last minute, so then they just sent us to our grandfather's farm. So yeah, hopefully the audio is balanced. I'll try to talk as loudly as I can now. But yeah, PSA, don't stay awake for 40 hours before doing a marathon run. So yeah, this is us on our grandfather's farm, meeting all of his animals and chasing a chicken with a stick. So I guess more on the whole PSP versus PS1 version. There's the PSP Boy and Girl version, then there's the console Back to Nature version, and Back to Nature has slower loading times, but it has horse whistling, and that might seem like an obscure thing, like why would horse whistling save time in a speedrun? And it only saves time in 98% runs, and that's because you get so much more affection from whistling the horse and brushing it than just brushing it. So it cuts around 75 minutes in gaining horse affection over the PSP version. But for marriage runs, the PSP version, the faster loading times are really the only thing that matters. So that's why we run on PSP. And I'm actually running on emulator instead of console, because the PlayStation Vita version is actually glitched to where there's a chance files just won't work for the animal exchange. They crash. And basically the animal exchange is a glitch that lets you duplicate cows and animals through an exchange mechanic. And that's what I'm going to be doing for the first 40 minutes or so, is setting up a file. And that kind of entails getting 6,300 gold, and then buying a cow, and then feeding him until he's grown up. Yeah, so Demo brings up the good point there, that the animal exchange is actually a cheat, because according to pretty much like anybody you ask about the game who doesn't run it, is just like completely against using the animal exchange for some reason. Even though like by normal means it would be an exploit, or like a glitch at most, but it would normally just be considered an exploit. So anyways, skipping the first 2 days there, because there's 2 slow cutscenes, and today's Juan's cutscene. And you could technically skip this if you got rain every single day of the run, but it's not very viable. So anyways, the main kind of gimmick here is shipping bluegrass and bamboo shoots for money. And that's literally all we do for like the next 30 minutes or so. So yeah, the kind of early part of this run is really repetitive, and this is kind of like not a very good time to commentate a repetitive run. Yeah, I did sleep for 40 minutes during Cruel's run. So technically not 40 hours straight, but... Blastig, this is actually not the same route as Mineral Town. So what I'm doing now is setting up the animal exchange, and that lets you duplicate cows for 3,000 gold per cow. And that's how you get all your money in this. So no horse race and no slow affection grinding. We also don't have to buy any Saturday shopping items. We just have to buy the 2 house upgrades. However, you do have to buy the coop and barn upgrade too. So you have to kind of buy everything in order. It's kind of unfortunate, but it's only like slightly slow to actually go through and buy each thing individually. Yeah, no gambling in this run, unfortunately. Yeah, we duplicate the cows, and that's kind of... Some people call it a cheat, but it should just be an exploit. I guess I can kind of try to explain that now. So basically, you can have 2 files. They have to be different files. You cannot save... They have to be different farms. So you cannot save this file and then trade it to the same file. Yeah, so basically, whenever you're exchanging an animal, the game only saves the file you're not playing on. So that's like... If you're on file A, and you send an animal to file B, it'll save that file B got the cow, but not the file A sent the cow. So you can then just load file A again, send the cow over. It's interesting, Deca. So it's a little bit less of a cheat. Would be the item duplication glitch, because that's more of an actual conventional glitch on one file. But the only way to trigger that is to wait until 6 AM, then pause on the exact same frame. Like on the exact frame it turns 6 AM to warp you home. So it's kind of like... It is technically frame perfect, but it's really not that hard to do. It's just that you have to wait 12 minutes to set it up, and then the actual shipping of the item takes 16 minutes to get all the money for the run. So it is like half an hour faster, but it's just not interesting enough to run during a marathon. Yeah, I think we have like 10 more days of this. Let's have to get 6,300 gold and then buy a cow. Then we get to watch the intro again, which is great because there's a beautiful song that I did not bring mention to during the first intro. Deca, this is the last run, so like an hour and 15 minutes hopefully. And then I think Curl might have some closing stuff to talk about. Just in like stats and stuff and comparing this one to the last year. Yeah, I know we posted them on our speed run last year too, and I think last year they got like I got a lot more upvotes last year, and a lot more like comments and talking. But I think funny thing, last year our speed run actually upvoted it more than our Harvest Moon, but yeah, that is true. This did have a bunch of attention from Twitter, especially with like Natsume actually tweeting about it. Like they retweeted the original one and then made like a more official tweet for Light of Hope. So that was really cool. I think usually we do these once a year, Deca, around the same time. It's like the weekend before Valentine's Day. Demo, I look at the repetitive stuff that I'm doing, and I do not enjoy it. It's kind of like, I feel bad having this as a closing run, because I've not slept in like 40 hours, so like I'm sure my commentary is horrible, and my throat has just been completely dry. At least Curl had the Harvest Moon DS to end things off too. Because next year kind of note would be don't stay awake for the entire marathon, and then submit any time for my availability. I mean, I could play MM, but that's kind of like... that actually requires thinking. I think the only time in this run where you have to actually think about something is for the first time you're setting up the animal exchange. You have to kind of like semi-send your cows between files in a specific way to do it quickly. It's a good question, Blast Egg. I'm really not sure. This game has really weird controls. It's one thing about Prince of Mineral Town, is regardless of what you think about four-way movement, it's definitely a lot better for up to go up, and not to go up right. But yeah, I really hate the, it's not even so much how it looks, like how much the angle is, but it's more of the whole up being upright and left being up left. It just took so long to get used to that. Compared to 64, which is 8-way. So yeah, not quite 10 more days, but I think like 7 or 8 more days of foraging, and then we should be done. So this is like the only part of the run. I guess I technically haven't done any of this in 2 years, I think. I guess that's not true. I did it in like May of 2000, last year. This is kind of like the main introduction to any Back to Nature run that's not using the item duping. Which again, if we could actually change the time to even 5 PM instead of 6 AM. But right now the only option is passing out the day before, and that sets it to 8 AM. No, I think it sets it to 10 AM, and that's like I think it was only 10 seconds faster than just waiting from 6 AM, just in the actual passing out time and the cutscene time. unfortunately, the only fast way to make the 6,500 is this. Just foraging 350 a day. The only crops you'd have to sell 75 to 100 of, and that takes like, I think potatoes is 9 bags that you'd have to plant and water. So this is like not even worth it. The only thing that might be worth it would be the cabbages, but you'd still have to grow like 4 bags and they take 15 days of water. So like the odds of actually getting 15 days of rain after you buy the cabbages from Juan, and you'd still need money to buy the bags. You'd have to spend like 2,000. I guess it's sort of kind of like, I'm either doing this or I'm waiting until 6 a.m. and then pressing A for 16 minutes. And even still, that is faster by like half an hour, but it's not interesting to watch. And again, it's either waiting or doing this. It's kind of like the same thing. Yeah, especially with runs like Back to Nature, around 98% and Back to Nature, and all photos from 64, is most of the run is kind of diverse, but there are a few points where you just end up doing the same thing on repeat. But then there's like one thing thrown in that you have to actually pay attention to and focus on. It's kind of like the skill is not getting lost in the repetitiveness and actually doing everything you have to. After today we have, I think we should only have 4 more days, but I don't know if it's 5 or not. I think I've already thrown one of the bamboo shoots. 54. Next day will be 5750. Actually, no, 3 more days. Today and then 2 more. Okay, the next all photos is probably like... Oh, nice. It's fine, I still have to do 2 more days after this one. Okay, next all photos is probably like next week, or later this week. Depending on when I do one-on-one sprites again, and when I recover from this. Alright, will do, Deca. Demo photos is not a... I guess it is kind of a meme now, but... It used to be a meme, and then it was actually a legit run, and then now it's kind of back to a meme again. Because it used to be kind of like complete RNG, or just actual luck in what you do if you actually got the party photo. And then now it's just like RNG if you get a 6-hour time or a 7-hour time. Yeah, no, glitchless all photos would be the actual meme run. Especially considering there's like 2 glitches in the run, technically, and then there's like a dozen exploits. So yeah, today's my last day, and that'll be 6,400 instead of 6,300. And then I have to buy a cow and 15 feed. Yeah, actually fitting out of, it's gonna really be fitting everything into the 3 years, so it'll just kind of be, doing everything. So mainly, the affection. You could only miss like 2 affection days in the first, 2 months. I'm doing the bamboo shoots because there's no town grass in this game. There's only bluegrass and bamboo shoots in spring. So that's the only... like, that's what's fastest. So that's kind of like the first downtime of the run. everything else up to this point was always doing something, and this is like the first standing still doing nothing part. And this is buying the cow in the feed. I do not think anybody's made the first cooking contest. It's such a bizarre thing, because they wouldn't really go out of their way to program it out of the first year, or like to program that whole submission thing out of the first year, because it is technically possible to buy the kitchen in that time. Yeah, I guess that's true. It's kind of like, at least then you know it's the thing for the next year. So then you actually have time to prepare, if you remember. Although this is kind of like... You're not spending a lot of time here later. But for now I just have to actually buy one cow and then raise him. That is very interesting that it would do. Like, Spring 6 seems really early. Spring 6th, I mean. I feel like it usually is kind of later in the season. Like, closer to the 30th. Like, at least not the 6th. Although in Back to Nature, I keep saying Back to Nature, 98% you'd want to have this file done by summer 7th for the chicken festival. But in marriage it doesn't really matter. You just have to have the cow raised and healthy. And I bought 17 feed, but this only takes 14 days. So it should be done on like early summer. I would have to actually pay attention to save when the cow is grown up. I have like 3 extra days now, but it's kind of hard to actually notice when he's grown up. Yes, Popuri is the fastest waifu in this. Just because the way her birthday is placed, you have enough time to space out everything. Which will explain why their birthday is important. when I actually get there, but basically, you need 40 gifts for them. So you need to store 40 things before their birthday, and actually doing that, like, you can only do that once you've bought the first house upgrade, and once the upgrade is done. So Popuri gives you enough time to store gifts during the other upgrades instead of going out on random days. Whereas Ellie's birthday is spring 21st as her alternate, 16th is her default, then Karen's is fall, Maria's is winter, and then Anne's is in summer. But hers is, there's like a special event tied to it, so you have to actually have certain affection to access her on her birthday. Even then, she won't even take gifts, so you can't do the semi-affection spam. That's sorry, cute Storito, and thank you for the good luck. So yeah, like the first part of the run is literally, just getting money to buy a cow. So the run really doesn't actually pick up until like 10 minutes from now. This also would have missed that I'm trying not to commentate like too much if it's not necessary, just because I've been awake for most of the marathon, so I'm just not in the right commentating. I guess like mindset and so it's a typhoon, that's fine. I don't think that puts you behind on any days other than just an extra sleep. I know in DS the typhoons, you have to actually befriend your cows from the grow up, but I think in this it is strictly just 2 weeks. Actually, I know it's just 2 weeks because the optimal strat is to skip every other day and then hope the cow doesn't get sick and die. Yeah, that is true, Corinth. So in Harvest Moon 64, you can actually spam Cow's Affection by hitting them with a hammer, due to an exploit. So yeah, that was me setting up the exchange file. And now this is the actual file, so here's the intro again. We do have to actually set our birthday to summer 3rd, and that makes Popuri's birthday summer 10th. So I actually meant to name the farm like the bee farm, so it's more easy to distinguish between the cow file and the actual main file. That's why I think there's only one point where you actually save on the same day, so it should be easy enough. So yeah, this is the part I did not point out. This beautiful singing is like the best part of the entire run. Yeah, that's not a joke. In all photos for Harvestman 64, you can actually spam your cow's affection to maximum by hitting them with a cow. By hitting them with a hammer. And that's because normally it was programmed, or I'm assuming they meant for you to program. I'm assuming they meant to have programmed it so hitting them when they're sick or mad loses 20 affection, but it actually gives them 20 affection. And you can also hit a sick cow and make it a mad cow, and that gives 60 affection because it thinks you've healed it, so... Echo's Firebrand, I think the girl you meet here is actually supposed to, like, grow up to be whoever you meet. Because at the end of at least it's not necessarily at the end of a 98% run, but just after you're married and you sleep to the end, you do go and sing with your wife at the top of the hill, and then it fades back. So, whoever you marry is the girl at the start. Also, I don't know if I actually, like, said this before. I feel like I did, like, 2 minutes ago. But this is actually, like, 4 minutes ahead of my PB. Even though the intro part was really horrible. I actually want to save tonight instead of yesterday. No, this is the animal exchange, so the game saves in the file you are not playing on, so it'll save that the this file receives this cow, but it does not save that the file I'm playing on gave a cow. So I can now load this. Items, I technically do have the record in this, but that's with the item dupe. So I took it down because we kind of agreed to not use the item duplication in runs because it's not fun or interesting. So I think my last run with this route is technically like from 2 years ago, and it was like 3.5 hours or something. So that is not what I wanted to do. Exactly, Deka. That's kind of the it's kind of the mindset behind it. So that was the first of the animal exchanges. So it is raining, but I do have to do this today because I do the next one on the 11th, and I don't think the henhouse takes this long, but there is a festival, and I feel like the day before the festival has a weird mechanic to where so I'm just gonna kind of follow my notes and take the rain. It doesn't really affect the run at all, it's just kind of like listening to the town music versus listening to rain for a few minutes. But yeah, that's the main reason why we don't do the item dupe. It's actually more for 98% than marriage runs. And that's because the old 98% is like 12 to 13 hours of actually doing stuff, and then the new 98% is 7 hours of actually doing stuff, which like an hour of that is loading. So it's like 6 hours of doing stuff, and then an hour of loading, and then 2 hours of waiting / timing A presses. So it's just not interesting to watch anymore. So that's kind of why we neutrally decided to not use the item dupe anymore. It's kind of like the Wonderful Life Nami strat. There is a consistent strat that's like 10 minutes faster, but it's only on special edition, and you have to sleep until, like, you literally sleep until Summer 1, spam Muffy and Celia with the blue feather, then talk to Nami once, and that's literally the entire run. So I didn't mean to buy that bell. I'm gonna buy the bell, sell a cow, then buy the medicine. And that way I can just press up twice and sell cows that way. So this is kind of like the majority of this route, is just selling cows for a few minutes. Now, the Japanese version does make this quite a bit faster. I mean, it saves like a few minutes, but basically, not only are there less characters, but it also runs twice as fast. Like, the text scrolls twice as fast in Japanese and in English. So, like, the text speed itself is faster. Alright, so I only have to do that 3 more times in the run. In 98% you have to actually do that. I guess in the non-item dupe, 98% you have to do that. I think it's like 17 times now. But then with the item dupe you only do it once. Like, you never sell them, you just kind of duplicate the cows and that's it. Anyways, we need to buy exactly 420 lumber, and then buy the coop. Like, that's the exact amount you need, is 420, and then 5,000 gold. And then that leaves us with just enough money to buy the rucksack at the start of tomorrow. I guess at the start of the 12th when we do the next exchange. Then we can go sell them second. And that semi lets us skip the horse, but not really. Yeah, this definitely would have been worth buying a PSP for. But it's just a lot easier to emulate. Because you wouldn't really have it on the go at that point, but... That's actually interesting. So normally I would have gotten this on the first day, or the first day I played, which would have been the 4th, but it's raining, so now I'm getting it today. But I have to actually load the other file and tried everything over now, so it's actually not faster. Because it wouldn't have been faster in the first place, but it's actually like... I guess I meant to say I was losing time and not... I don't know, it's slow. It's like 10 seconds slower. So we have to sit through this cutscene again. So yeah, today this place opens at I guess the market opens at 9 AM. Then Barley opens at 10 AM, which is where we sell our cows. Then Guts opens at 10:40, which is where we buy the next this is where we buy the next house upgrade. And then after that we have to sleep until the 26th. Do our next because we do the actual exchange on the 27th, but we save on the 26th, and then that's mainly because you have to wait 2 weeks, and then that's like just enough time to do the partial exchange on Summer 2. And then that's also when you buy, or that's also when you store part of the flowers. But I'm going to avoid going right, because that's where Karen and Rick have an event. But I just have to remember to do that next time as well. And then I'm fine. So there's actually quite a few incoherent orange. There's the animal exchange in this. There's cow hitting in Back to Nature. I mean in 64. I know there's more and I'm just not thinking of them. Yeah, demo if you're still here. I don't know if you can think of any more cow-based stuff. So it really isn't that much more then. I was thinking there was more stuff with cows, but I guess not. It really is just kind of the animal exchange and then cow hitting. And the only other thing would be in the Lost Valley, you have to have 5 good milk or 5 perfect milk. But I think it's 2 separate things. You have to have 2 perfect milk and 3 good, or 5 good or 5 perfect, or 3 of one kind and 2 of the other. But then the cows can be milkable at like 6 a.m., 8 a.m., or 10 a.m. So you can just randomly lose time. So I guess that's not really a strategy. But that's like semi-cow based. That is true, Harvest Moon DS does have the milker glitch. So that lets you milk. You can milk your horse with it, but you can also get a ton of milk with cows. Like, that's what makes me think there's more that I'm just not thinking of, because there's Harvest Moon DS with that, and there's Back to Nature in 64. I guess SNES does have the cow selling. I mean, you sell a cow for the beanstalk, and then that gives you 10,000 gold. So there's definitely a few of them. I just can't think of all of them. Which I could go like game by game and see them. But like Friends of Mineral Town technically used to have one with Ellie, but it's like an hour slower than the new stuff. So it is technically a cow strat, but it's not really worth it. I have to actually go buy the second rucksack today, so I can start storing stuff on summer 2nd. Yeah, that's true, there's a doctor. So they're pretty much used in most of the games. Not all of them, but most games do have at least something cow related. Kumatora, the main difference between the PSP and PS1 version is, in the PS1 version you can whistle a horse, and that gives you a lot more affection than brushing it. And in the PSP version you can only brush it, so... But PS1 also has a lot slower loading times than PSP, so it's kind of even, but in Marriage Runs it's... Or 98% it's kind of even between the two, but in Marriage Runs the PSP version is faster. But those are like the two main things, are just loading times and whistling the horse. So I have a full forge today. Like I say, a full exchange, I mean. 8 cows on summer 2nd, then another full one on the 4th. And then that's all the exchanging for the run. So one more full one after this, and then one more partial one. Later, Becca. Yeah, thanks for stopping by and watching most of the marathon. It's probably, compared to last year, I should have to buy 500 here. It's like semi-difficult to do. But yeah, I think last year this had like... Or compared to last year, this marathon did a lot better. We had like twice the runtime, I think. Almost exactly. So yeah, conveniently we have 0 gold left after buying that. So now next few of these are kind of risky. I need 32 flowers stored before summer 10th, and summer 10th has to not be a typhoon. So I have to save on sleeping summer 7th. So there's some RNG here. I think I do have some backup files, but I would have to actually go through and find them. For in case I just get horrendous luck and it's storming on every day. Actually, no, yeah, that's good. That's actually what I want. That's actually one more than I want, but that's fine. I can just do 9 today and then 9 on the next one. I just have to do 18 total. So I'm going to be storing pink hat flowers, and those are Popuri's loved items. So there's plenty of time to explain this on her birthday. But basically, the first Wrapped Love gift you give somebody on the birthday is worth 2,500 affection. And then every Wrapped Love gift after that is worth 1,500. So 40 gifts gets them to a red heart in one day. And that's substantially faster than giving them one 800 affection gift every day. That's actually what the first 98% route did. So that's why Uber got like 15.5 hour times, and then it went down to 13.5 quickly. Because birthday abuse was not really... like, it was known about, but nobody used it until after he had ran 98%. So you have 9 cows to do today, and then don't buy anything because the next upgrade is the second house, and I buy that on the 4th. And that gives me the... it'll be done like 2 days before her birthday. So if everything goes right, I should be able to gift her 2 pink heart and then propose on her birthday. Alright, so this is one of the rival events, I think. Oh, it's kind of hard to tell which ones are rival events and which ones are just random town events. Hey Kiwi, yeah, there's only 1 hour left. So yeah, this is kind of like 2. Oh, that's actually not great. So Guts is closed on Saturdays and Sundays, I think, and Barley is closed on Monday. So I think that's kind of like a bust there on buying the thing first. Yeah, 1 more hour and then I can sleep. I should have just like slept last night. I'm kind of pissed at like how this run went, considering I could have just slept and made it a good finale run. But it's fine. So I know for next year, don't try to stay up for the entire marathon when I'm doing the closing run. Like, if I had done this instead of, or if I had done this in place of Cruel's run, that would be like perfect, but it's fine. Yeah, I know he's closed on Saturdays in this game, but I feel like he's closed on Sunday too. So I'd rather just like take the minute slower route and just propose like a day later. I actually don't want to check the TV today. Yeah, that's good. So I have to save tomorrow night, so I can kind of like guarantee no typhoons on our birthday. If 17 is stored now, 9 more would be 26. So yeah, I think I'd just like do all the flowers today and then play it safe. Okay, good. I couldn't remember if I'd actually taken those cows out or not on the typhoon day. So yeah, she only needs 40 flowers, and you only need 32 stored going into her birthday. But it's safer to have like all 40 stored and then just take them out morning of. So yeah, I think I have like 7 to 10 minutes more of just like selling extra stuff and buying the bigger house. Which I guess I could do that tomorrow. It's like less sleeping. Actually, no, the reason why I don't do it tomorrow is, oh. That's actually kind of risky because now there's no guarantee her birthday is gonna be sunny. So if it's typhooning tomorrow, then that's kind of like run over. There's nothing I can do. It's sunny though, so that's fine. Yeah, animal flowers are done. I think I had like 35 stored. I only need 32. So I'm still gonna do 9 here. I'll just have like a few more extra in storage. Just have to remember to leave like 6 of them, I think. Or no, it's 4 of them. And then I should be fine on money. I think you're only like 200 short on your first time. Or... Doing 7 cows leaves you like 200 short on gifts. So then doing 8 cows puts you like thousands of gold over. But it's still better to be safe and do the more consistent route instead of doing the foraging route. Which like isn't even a route, it's kind of like you could technically ship a couple of things on her birthday and then use that money, but that saves like 10 seconds. It's so risky because you have to ship it before a certain point. Yeah, the mother wrapping is really... It is a lot worse than this and in Friends of Mineral Town. Hey, Jads90. So yeah, each one of these is worth 1500 affection. So it takes like 5 minutes to actually get our affection to pink. I mean, it's red in this. And weirdly enough, her Purple Heart event, or her Purple Heart actually triggers that 5000 affection, and then every heart after that is, I mean, purple is at 5,000, blue is at 20,000, and then everything after that is 10,000 after that. So it's like, instead of just 10,000 to 60,000 and 10,000 intervals, it's like 5,000 and then 20,000 and then intervals of 10,000. Oh, nice. It's like this is it's kind of good that I got all of those extra, I have like 4 extra, so that's not really an issue. But yeah, Keats-Rito, I was kind of hoping I'd saved that instead of accidentally talking to her then, because I'm pretty sure if you don't talk to her, that's like her proposal text. I guess she does still say that for like a few hard events, but I think if you don't talk to her at all and just like gift her to Rad and then propose, that's what yeah, that's what she'll say. Oh, it's something we have like 1 more trip for these. I think I had 7 left and I only need like 4 more now. 4 or 5 because I threw 1. So I think both places are open until like 6 p.m. So it's kind of fine if I go over a bit. But you can still do like the entire day if you have an animal death. Like the old route would kind of risk an animal death a few days before, and then you would wake up at 8 a.m. day of, and you could still be done at like 5:50 p.m. So yeah, definitely it's a long day, so if I had to reset at this point, it would just be kind of basically over at that point, but I think it'll be fine. Should only be like 5 more minutes, and then I can just sleep and buy the next house upgrade. Yeah, I kind of threw that on the ground. That's alright, I had like 5 extra, I think. Yeah, like if I did not have those spares, I would have lost like 10 minutes in doing regular affection days. So that was like really lucky that I decided to go for those. This was like I kind of purposely went for it, but I was thinking not to. But I'm glad I did. So these are hopefully the last presents, and I did not undercount anything. Then I can buy the blue feather today, then buy the house tomorrow, and just propose next week. Or propose whenever the house is done in a few days. So yeah, I guess I kind of had like the perfect amount of spares considering I threw another one somehow standing right in front of her. So yeah, demo. Juan actually tries to sell you some for 30,000 gold. Or like Juan will come to your house with a feather. If I hadn't bought it that day. So yeah, if you like don't buy the feather, then the next day Juan will come and try to sell you one for 30,000 gold. It's obviously like not very worth it, but if we had an item that would sell for more, it probably would be. Just to like buy it from Juan instead of going through Gots. You have to like sit through the cutscene anyways, so... I mean, obviously not for marriage runs, but maybe for 98% it would be slightly faster. Yeah, exactly, back to cheating. This will be the final time though, we just have to... sell these cows and then buy the next house and then sleep until it's done. Then propose and sleep some more. Okay, so yeah, time's coming up in like the next 10 minutes or so. I just have to buy this and then sleep, pretty much. Alright, cool, yeah, I was, we're gonna just kind of scrap the, glitch exhibition. It would have been kind of cool, but I just didn't set up any of the files for it. I think I could show off, like, one of the out-of-bounds, and that's pretty much it, so... Alright, so Popuri will be coming up with a thing at like 7 AM, I think. Or like 7:30 or 8 or something. Then we propose there and sleep one more week. So this will be like 10 minutes below estimate, I think. Or like around 5 to 10. So yeah, it doesn't even say yes, this doesn't even say anything other than she wants to wear a wedding dress. I mean, it's more of a yes than Ellie's, which is... She says something like, oh, I have to quit working for the clinic, ... so it's kind of like... You would think it's a no, but it's actually her saying yes. Yeah, a few more sleeps and then timing stops on the bell. So it should be like a mid 153. So I think it's either tomorrow morning or Wednesday morning. Alright, 153.35, that's... It's not perfect, but it's not horrible. So yeah, that's back to nature. Thank you all for watching. I wish this could have gone better, but I guess a note for next time is to not... If I have the closing run, then sleep for the closing run. So yeah, she doesn't actually let you name her anything special like in Friends of Mineral Town, but thank you all for the GGs. Cruel, I guess whenever you're ready, let's take over. The stream on my end kind of crashed like an hour ago, so yeah, thank you all for watching. Enjoy the post talk.